tear and share Camembert. Hi, my name's Candice Brown. I'm from the Green Man Eversholt, but you might know me from winning a tiny little show called The Great British Bake Off. So today I'm going to be making a turmeric cumin tear and share bread. It's a variation of a recipe from my book Happy Cooking, and I've adapted it so you can do it in the dome, and it is absolutely incredible. It's so tasty, and it's one of those things you can plonk in the middle and just share and fight over all the squishy bits and the last bit of camembert, that sort of thing. It's nice, it's simple, and it's pretty impressive actually. So the first thing I need to do is obviously prep the dough. With bread, you need to let it prove and rest and so on. It's quite kneady. And we can do this by hand. If you are a little bit precious about your hands or your nails and things like that, you might want to wear gloves because the turmeric does tend to colour your hands a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to put some golden caster sugar in here into my blood warm milk. That's a saying my nan used to use quite a lot, was blood warm, and it took me a while to work it out. But how I see it or how I think about it is if you put your finger in, you can't actually feel it. So it's literally the same temperature as your blood, or lukewarm, something like that. Not hot because it'll kill the yeast. Yeast's needy, proper needy. Dissolved through. So then I just want to sprinkle the yeast on top, and that will just, as you set it aside, you'll see sort of a little level, and it will just start to foam and sort of get a bit of a head on it. While that's doing its thing there, I've got strong bread flour and I've got plain flour. So you want to put this into a big bowl. I think it's a really therapeutic thing making bread and dough, especially if you've had a bit of a hard day, just whack it out on the bread, it's great. Salt, just table salt, you want to put that on the side. Then we've got our turmeric. The colour on it is just incredible and it's really, really impressive to look at. And then cumin, toast these off beforehand to bring out the flavours. You've got that on one side. Obviously, if you were doing it all in one bowl, just don't let the yeast touch the salt, otherwise they fight and kill each other. It's very sad. I've dropped my egg into the well. A bit of melted butter. The reason for the well is you want to bring the flour and the dry ingredients round from the outside in, okay? Don't plonk all the liquid in one go. You can always add liquid, but you can't take it away. Ideally, I'd leave my yeast in my warm or my blood warm milk for probably about 7 to 10 minutes. So you're just gonna pop a little bit in and then hands in, and you're literally almost making like a little claw. You want to take that time, and you can see that colour in there already. And it is messy, but it's just glorious mess. It's just great. You can see that's quite wet, and flour changes all the time. It can be something like the atmosphere and things like that. So it's really, really important that you don't add all that liquid in. I use flour to start off with, and you can feel straight away, you want it to be soft, but you don't want it to be sticking to your hands. Obviously it's going to stick to begin with, but then everything is just going to come off. You're going to have lovely yellow hands and nails. And if it feels sticky and it's still sticking to your hands and everything like that, okay, then you just add a little bit more flour. You want to get that gluten stretch in. Quarter turn, stretch, quarter turn. Who needs the gym? The gym's so overrated, just make bread. And you want to probably do this for 8 to 10 minutes at the moment. So if I lift this up, you can see the stretch in it, but it's going to break off. What we want to aim for is it for it to drop and stretch and be able to stretch that out and to be able to see like daylight through it. And when you turn it over and you make a ball, the top doesn't split. The dough has now completely changed texture. It's no longer sticky, my hands are now clean, sort of. That is about 10 minutes of kneading. Obviously you can whack it in a mixer with a dough hook for about half the time. Now you want to leave it to prove. Now this is where the dome comes in really handy, but you can literally just sort of put it ever so slightly near it and it's just perfectly warm. So you want to just pop it in a greased bowl because we don't want it to stick. Grease the top as well, because then if it does go massive, it's not going to stick to the cling film. We're just going to cling film the top and put it in a warm place for about 2 hours, or until it's at least doubled inside, but triple would be perfect. My dough has been proving for about 2 hours. Well, it's about 3-4 times the size. So this is probably one of my favourite things to do. So you literally just punch. It's just so satisfying. So I might fold it in on itself a couple of times. I won't use any flour when I'm shaping. If I need to, or it's sticking or anything like that, I might put a little bit of oil on my hands or oil the board because I don't want to change consistency now, so I don't want to be adding things to it. 12 pieces, that means you get kind of a nice little portion each, and you can make a nice star shape. I could weigh them out, but life's too short, so I'm just going to sort of look at them and go, well, that bit needs a bit more on there. A tuck and pull. So I want to almost create a really smooth stretch surface. So I'm just pulling from the edge. So when you turn it over, and then using these parts of your hands, you just want to pinch and turn. And then making a little cage with your hand, okay? Just roll them round. And it gives you a lovely little ball shape. Okay, so we've got our 12 balls there. You can see they're starting to puff up already. I am literally going straight on to the floor of the dome with some greaseproof paper. It works absolutely fine. Even though they are fairly similar size, the smaller ones to the middle. So 6 around the middle, ever so slightly apart because they are going to grow. My other balls just on the outside. So you've got, I suppose, like a star shape. So these will grow, you'll get those lovely joins. This needs its second proof. Plastic bag to put this in. But if you haven't got one of these, then just use a generic supermarket bag. There we go. Okay, so again, you pop that in a warm place. They double up. Takes about 45 minutes to an hour. You just test by poking them slightly. If they spring back up, they are ready to go. Puff up like little gorgeous puffy balls of sunshine. My bready sunshiny balls have been proving for about 45 minutes to an hour. It's like a flower. If you poke them and they just spring back, they're literally spot on. Crisscross the top. I'm gonna drizzle a tiny bit of oil and rub that over the top. A couple of cloves of garlic, some rosemary on there, a little pinch of salt. And then just to finish off, I'm just gonna egg wash these beautiful buns. They smell just delicious, and this egg wash is just gonna make them shiny. Dome's at about 260, which is just perfect. Anything between sort of 250 and 275 works brilliantly. Just trimming into a circle. So going onto my placement peel. And then I'm going straight into the dome.
They were all yellow.
My buns take about 10 minutes, but there is a lot of turning, okay? So get your peel ready. Obviously, if you've got oven gloves or heat-proof gloves, then use those. Brown and turn, brown and turn, brown and turn. This is a really quick bake for bread. I mean, look at the colour and the crust on those is just insane. And I am going to break my lovely little star to show you. So we've got a pull there, which is lovely. If you push in, it springs back, okay, rather than holding. But another way, if you tap on the bottom, it sounds hollow. But that residual heat will carry on cooking, and that cheese has just popped. And it's just oozing out, and it's just one of the best things in the world. Literally, my mouth's watering. So, as easy as that, 10 minutes in the dome, and you've got the perfect tear and share bread. You haven't even got a plate. You don't even need cutlery. You don't need to do any washing up. You know, they say good things come to those who wait. I feel like this is it. This, look at them, is that moment. I mean, that colour is just perfection. We've got a beautiful crust on top. You can hear it. Nice on the bottom. And then, I mean, this is a tear and share. I'll be happy on my own. I'm gonna make a proper mischief for myself now. That is so good. It's so simple. It's bread and cheese, but it's just done really well, and really, really well in the dome. I mean, game changer. This is my turmeric, cumin, Camembert tear and share bread, and you can find all the recipe and all the details gozney.com. You need to do this one. Now, excuse me. That's it. Who needs the gym? Just need bread. But it's so therapeutic, and that's what I talk about in my book, about how food, like, we should be touching our food. Obviously ask, and obviously don't just like start like fingering someone's food.